Captain Ethan Brooks sat in the command room of the Orion station, staring at the blinking red lights on the control panel. The station had been under attack for hours. Explosions rocked the hull, and alarms screamed in every corner. Crew members ran to the corridors, shouting orders and helping the wounded. Ethan's heart pounded, but he forced himself to stay calm. Panic would only make things worse. Lieutenant Clara Bennett ran into the room, carrying a small box of tools. "Captain, the engineering bay is damaged. The power cores are unstable," she shouted over the noise. Sparks flew from the ceiling as a small explosion shook the floor. Ethan grabbed her arm to steady her. "We need to get control of the power systems or the station will collapse," he said. Clara nodded and ran toward the engineering bay, with Ethan following close behind. The corridors were filled with smoke, making it hard to see. Crew members shouted for help, and Ethan could hear the distant roar of alien ships outside. The station's shields were failing, and the aliens were getting closer. In the control room, Lieutenant Marco Hill tried to keep the communication channels open. He was young but brave, typing commands quickly as he relayed information to nearby human fleets. "Captain, we sent a distress signal." "No response yet," Marco said, his voice tight with worry. Ethan clenched his fists. Help might not arrive in time. Meanwhile, Commander Jack Thompson was in the USS Resolute, far from Orion Station. He watched the incoming distress signal light up his console. Jack's brow furrowed. "This station is under heavy attack. We need to move fast," he said to his team. Tactical Officer Mia Lewis, Communications Officer Ryan Cole, and Engineer Sam Porter were all at their stations, ready to respond. The Resolute was built for battles like this, and Jack intended to save every life he could. Back on Orion Station, Ethan and Clara reached the engineering bay. Smoke filled the room, and the air was thick. Engineers were trying to stabilize the power cores, but the alien attacks kept knocking systems offline. Clara checked the main console. "We need to reroute the power manually," she said, sweat dripping from her forehead. Ethan nodded and helped her connect the circuits. Sparks flew, but finally, the lights on the console turned green. The station had power again, at least for now. Suddenly, the floor shook violently. An explosion had hit a nearby section, throwing both of them to the ground. Ethan struggled his feet and saw an alien drone moving toward them. He grabbed a nearby tool and swung at the drone, breaking it into pieces. Clara looked at him, her eyes wide. "We can't hold them off much longer," she said. Ethan took a deep breath. "Then we fight smarter. We lure them into the corridors where we can control the fight," he said. They ran through the station, setting traps and barricades. Crew members joined them, inspired by the captain's courage. Even though fear was everywhere, the humans were determined to survive. Outside the station, the alien fleet moved in tight formations. Their ships were sleek and fast, firing energy beams that tore through the station's outer walls. But Ethan had already noticed a pattern. The aliens attacked in predictable waves. He directed the crew to focus defenses on the main corridors, forcing the aliens into traps and counterattacks. It was a small victory, but it kept hope alive. In the command room, Ethan and Clara paused for a moment. They could see through the main viewport the alien ships circling the station. Ethan's mind raced. How could they survive this? How could they hold out until help arrived? Clara touched his arm. "Look, Captain," she said. Through the haze, they saw a distant point of light. A ship was moving at incredible speed toward Orion Station. Ethan's eyes widened. "Could it be?" he whispered. The distant ship grew larger, its engines glowing brightly. It was human. Ethan felt a surge of hope he hadn't felt in hours. "It's the Resolute," he said. "Help is coming." The alien ships noticed a new arrival and began to change formation. They fired more aggressively, trying to destroy the incoming human ship. Ethan and Clara ran to main control room, ready to coordinate with the Resolute. Crew members manned the stations, preparing for the battle to come. On the USS Resolute, Jack Thompson saw the station below, battered but still standing. He gritted his teeth and gave orders. "Full attack. Take them down before they reach the station." Mia, Ryan, and Sam worked quickly, targeting the alien fleet with precise strikes. The humans had the advantage of strategy, experience, and determination. Every shot they fired was calculated to protect the station and its crew. Back on Orion Station, Ethan and Clara coordinated with the Resolute's crew. Using the ship's superior firepower, they began to push back the alien attackers. Explosions lit up the darkness of space as alien ships were destroyed. The station's crew fought with renewed vigor, knowing that humans had come to aid them. Ethan looked around at his crew, seeing their tired but determined faces. He knew the battle was far from over, but for the first time in hours, hope filled the station. The Resolute was here, and humanity had arrived to defend its own. As the night stretched on the void of space, Orion Station remained battered but alive. Ethan Brooks, Clara Bennett, and their crew prepared for the next wave, ready to fight alongside the humans who had come howling from the void. They were not alone anymore, and that made all the difference. Part 2 of the story continues as the battle around Orion Station intensifies. Captain Ethan Brooks stood on the bridge, his eyes fixed on the viewport. Alien ships continued to attack the station, firing energy beams and missiles that shook the hull. Crew members scrambled to man their stations, try to hold off the relentless assault. Despite the chaos, Ethan stayed calm, issuing clear commands. Focus on the outer corridors first. Keep the station's core safe, he shouted. Lieutenant Clara Bennett ran alongside him, carrying a portable control tablet. Captain, the outer defenses are failing. The aliens are too fast, she said, her voice urgent. Ethan nodded. Then we need to be faster. Set traps and block their pathways. Make them fight on our terms. In the corridors below, the crew worked quickly. Explosive charges were set to detonate in specific areas, and energy barriers were activated to block the aliens' advance. Engineers moved cautiously, repairing damaged doors and systems while avoiding enemy fire. Every second counted. Each crew member understood that their lives depended on teamwork and quick thinking. Meanwhile, the USS Resolute moved closer to station. Commander Jack Thompson stood at the helm, watching the alien fleet. We can't let them overwhelm the station. Fire at their lead ships. Disable their coordination, he ordered. Tactical Officer Mia Lewis tapped her console rapidly, launching plasma torpedoes and laser strikes. Alien ships exploded in brilliant flashes, but more continued to come. Communication Officer Ryan Cole relayed updates to Orion Station. Captain Brooks, the Resolute is in range. They are engaging the aliens directly, he said. Ethan felt a wave of relief. Help had arrived, but the battle was far from over. On the station, Ethan and Clara organized their crew. They moved injured personnel to safe zones and stationed sharpshooters along key pathways. The aliens moved like predators, but Ethan had studied their patterns. He directed small teams to ambush the intruders, using the station's tight corridors to their advantage. Each successful strike boosted the crew's morale. In a narrow corridor, engineer Liam Carter and technician Zoe Miller prepared a trap. They rigged a section of the wall to explode when aliens passed through. Ethan watched from a nearby console, giving them guidance. When the first alien entered the corridor, the trap detonated perfectly, sending the creature flying back. The humans cheered. It was a small victory, but every victory mattered. Outside, the Resolute continued its assault. Jack Thompson piloted the ship with precision, weaving between enemy fire while giving orders. Target their reinforcements. Keep the pressure on, he shouted. Mia Lewis focused on the lead alien cruisers, while Sam Porter monitored the ship systems, ensuring the engines and weapons stayed operational. The crew worked in perfect coordination, a well-oiled machine in the chaos of battle. Back inside Orion Station, Clara led a group to repair the main power grid. Sparks flew as she connected circuits and stabilized the systems. Ethan stayed close, providing protection and morale. We are holding them off. Clara, the Resolute is taking the fight to them. We just need to last a little longer, he said. Clara nodded, determination shining in her eyes. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the station. A large group of alien fighters had breached a side entrance, heading toward the main command center. Ethan grabbed a rifle and ran toward the attack. All units, fall back and set defensive positions, he ordered. Crew members quickly moved, activating automated defenses and preparing to engage the intruders. The battle inside the station was intense. Energy beams flashed, and explosions shook the walls. Ethan and Clara fought side by side, taking down alien soldiers with precision. Liam and Zoe's trap slowed the enemy's advance, while sharpshooters picked off attackers from above. Each crew member played a role, and the humans held their ground. Outside, the Resolute executed a daring maneuver. Jack piloted the ship close to the largest alien vessels, firing concentrated plasma blasts that tore through their hulls. The aliens were forced to retreat, regrouping to defend their remaining forces. Ethan watched through the viewport as a human warship made a difference. Hope surged through the crew. Despite the temporary relief, Ethan knew the battle was far from over. The aliens would not give up easily, and the station was still vulnerable. He called a meeting with Clara and his senior officers. "We need to strengthen our defenses and coordinate with the Resolute. We survive as long as we fight together," he said. The officers nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. Clara added, "We can set up automated turrets along the corridors and reinforce weak points. The crew will follow your lead, Captain. We can do this." Ethan smiled faintly, proud of their determination. Every human on the station was fighting not just for survival, but for hope. As night fell in the void of space, Orion Station remained under siege, but the humans held their ground. The aliens were persistent, but the crew's courage in the arrival of the Resolute had turned the tide. Ethan and Clara knew the battle would continue, but for now, they had bought time. Time for reinforcements, time to repair, and time to prepare for the next wave. Ethan looked out at the stars, seeing the Resolute's engines glow in the distance. "They thought no aid was coming," he whispered. "But the humans are here. We are not alone." Clara placed a hand on his shoulder, and together they watched as hope burned brightly in the darkness, ready to face whatever the void would throw at them next. Part 3 of the HFY story continues with the battle escalating and the human warship engaging directly. Captain Ethan Brooks stood on the command deck, watching the alien forces regroup. The station had survived the previous waves, but it was badly damaged. Sparks flew from the walls, and smoke filled the corridors. Crew members worked tirelessly, repairing systems and reinforcing defenses. Ethan's heart pounded, but he kept his focus. Every decision mattered. Lieutenant Clara Bennett ran toward him, holding a portable screen. "Captain, the alien boarders are moving toward the control center. They are organized and stronger this time," she said, her voice tense. Ethan nodded. "Then we fight smarter. We set traps and use the station layout. No alien gets past our lines without a fight." Clara followed him as he issued new orders. In the corridors, human crew members set up explosive traps, energy barriers, and ambush points. Every corner was prepared for the aliens. Engineer Liam Carter and technician Zoe Miller worked tirelessly, wiring systems and setting charges. Ethan moved from team to team, offering guidance and encouragement. The crew's morale depended on him as much as their survival skills. Outside the station, the USS Resolute moved into a strategic position. Commander Jack Thompson surveyed the alien fleet with his tactical officer Mia Lewis. "We need to break their formation. Target their command ships," Jack ordered. Plasma torpedoes and laser cannons fired, striking the alien vessels with precision. The alien ships exploded in flashes of bright light, but new attackers continued to emerge. Communication Officer Ryan Cole relayed information to Orion Station. "Captain Brooks, the Resolute is engaging the alien fleet directly. They are taking heavy fire, but their maneuvers are effective," he said. Ethan felt a surge of relief. The humans had come, and their presence was changing the battle. Inside the station, Ethan and Clara coordinated with the crew. They led squads into narrow corridors, forcing the aliens into kill zones where explosives and energy traps awaited. Alien forces crashed into these defenses, and crew members fought with precision and courage. Every victory, no matter how small, inspired others to keep fighting. A group of alien soldiers breached the main control room. Ethan and Clara confronted them directly, using handheld weapons and improvised tools. Sparks flew as energy weapons clashed. The humans worked together seamlessly, covering each other and driving the aliens back. The battle was fierce, but the humans were determined not to give an inch. Meanwhile, Jack Thompson piloted the Resolute in a daring maneuver. The ship moved close to the largest alien vessels, firing concentrated plasma bursts. Explosions lit up space, and alien ships began to retreat. Try to regroup. Mia Lewis and Sam Porter managed the weapons and systems, keeping the ship operational despite the intense battle. Back on Orion Station, Ethan and Clara led a counterattack against alien forces trying to breach the secondary power systems. Crew members set traps and fired from hidden positions, slowly pushing the aliens back. Liam Carter and Zoe Miller managed to reroute power to critical sections, restoring lights and communications. The station was battered, but it was still alive. Ethan called a quick meeting with senior officers. "We hold this station together, no matter what. The Resolute is giving us support, but we can't rely solely on them. We need to fight smart and protect our crew," he said. Clara nodded. "We can reinforce corridors and use automated turrets. The crew is ready. We will hold them off." The officers agreed, understanding the stakes. Outside, the alien fleet launched a massive attack, targeting both the station and the Resolute. Jack Thompson remained calm, giving orders with precision. Plasma cannons and torpedoes struck the aliens, and explosions lit up the void. The humans' determination and tactics began to show results. Alien ships were destroyed faster than they could replace them, and the remaining attackers started to lose coordination. Inside Orion Station, the crew continued to fight valiantly. Ethan and Clara moved from section to section, leading teams and ensuring every corridor was defended. Explosions and energy blasts rocked the station, but humans held their ground. Every crew member, from engineers to sharpshooters, played a vital role. Suddenly, Ethan saw something on the main viewport. The Resolute was moving directly into the heart of the alien formation, firing relentlessly. Alien ships exploded in brilliant fireballs, scattering the attackers. Ethan felt a rush of hope. "They are breaking their lines," he shouted to crew. Inspired by the human warship's bravery, the station crew renewed their efforts. As the night continued in the void, Orion Station remained under siege. But the humans were not giving up. Ethan and Clara led the fight with courage and determination. Outside, the Resolute continued to strike fear into the alien fleet. The combined effort of the station crew and the human warship was turning the tide. Ethan looked around at the crew, seeing their tired but determined faces. They had survived the worst of the attacks, so far. Clara placed a hand on his shoulder. "We're holding them off, Captain. We can do this," she said. Ethan nodded, feeling pride and hope. The battle was far from over. But for now, humans and their allies were showing that courage, determination, and unity could overcome even the most overwhelming odds in the vast void of space. Part 4 of the HFY story continues as the battle reaches its peak, and the humans push back the alien forces. Captain Ethan Brooks stood at the command deck, watching the viewport as the alien forces regrouped. The station had suffered heavy damage, but the crew continued to fight. Sparks flew from exposed panels, and smoke filled the hallways. Ethan's mind raced with strategies to hold the station. He knew that every decision could mean life or death for the crew. Lieutenant Clara Bennett ran in, holding a tablet with updated station status. "Captain, the aliens are regrouping and launching a new attack from the east sector," she said. Ethan nodded. "Then we meet them head-on. Prepare our forces and set traps along the eastern corridors. We can't let them reach the core again." Clara and Ethan ran to the station, rallying crew members and assigning defensive positions. In the corridors, engineers and technicians worked quickly to reinforce doors and set explosive traps. Crew members armed themselves, taking positions along the narrow corridors. Every hallway was prepared for ambush. Liam Carter and Zoe Miller worked tirelessly to reroute power to turrets and repair damaged systems. The station's survival depended on their skill and courage. Outside, the USS Resolute maneuvered to strike the alien fleet where it was weakest. Commander Jack Thompson watched the battle unfold, giving precise orders. "Target their supply ships and command vessels. Take out their coordination points," he said. Tactical Officer Mia Lewis calculated trajectories, while Engineer Sam Porter ensured the weapons and engines were functioning at full capacity. Each shot was aimed to maximize damage and protect the station. Communication Officer Ryan Cole relayed updates to Orion Station. Captain Brooks, The Resolute is engaging the alien fleet. They are making progress. But the aliens are responding aggressively, he reported. Ethan felt a surge of hope. The human warship was making a difference, but the station crew still had to hold their ground. Inside Orion Station, Ethan and Clara coordinated counterattacks. Crew members moved through corridors, using traps and barriers to slow the alien advance. Energy beams flashed and explosions shook the station, but the humans remained steadfast. Each success inspired the crew to keep fighting, even as fear and exhaustion weighed on them. A large group of aliens breached the secondary control room. Ethan and Clara met them head-on, using weapons and improvised tools. Sparks and energy blasts filled the room as humans and aliens clashed. The crew worked together seamlessly, covering each other and forcing the aliens back. Every victory, no matter how small, gave them hope. Meanwhile, the Resolute executed a daring strike. Jack Thompson piloted the ship into the heart of the alien formation, firing plasma bursts and torpedoes at close range. Alien ships exploded, scattering the attackers. Mia Lewis and Sam Porter maintained the ship systems under intense pressure. The alien fleet began to lose coordination and strength. Back on the station, crew members reinforced the corridors and repaired critical systems. Ethan and Clara led squads to key positions, directing ambushes and protecting vital areas. Liam Carter and Zoe Miller worked on restoring power to essential systems, ensuring lights and communications remained functional. The station was battered, but the humans' determination kept it alive. Ethan called a quick meeting with senior officers. "We hold the station together, no matter what. The Resolute is giving us support, but we must also rely on our own strength. Fight smart, protect each other, and we survive," he said. Clara nodded. "We can use automated turrets and energy barriers to slow their advance. The crew is ready. We will hold them off," she added. The officers agreed, understanding the stakes. The alien fleet launched a massive coordinated attack, targeting both the station and the Resolute. Jack Thompson remained calm, giving orders with precision. Plasma cannons and torpedoes struck the aliens, causing explosions that lit up the darkness of space. The humans' determination and skill began to turn the tide. Alien ships were destroyed faster than they could replace them, and the remaining attackers started to retreat. Inside Orion Station, the crew continued to fight with courage and precision. Ethan and Clara moved from section to section, ensuring every corridor was defended. Explosions rocked the walls, but the humans held firm. Every crew member, from engineers to sharpshooters, played a vital role in keeping the station secure. Suddenly, Ethan noticed through the main viewport that the Resolute was moving directly into the center of the remaining alien formation, firing relentlessly. Alien ships were exploding, scattering the attackers. Ethan felt a surge of hope. "They are breaking their lines," he shouted to the crew. Inspired by the human warship's bravery, the station crew renewed their efforts. As the battle continued into the void, Orion Station remained under siege. But the humans were not giving up. Ethan and Clara led the crew with courage and determination. The combined efforts of the station and the Resolute were changing the tide of battle. Hope burned brightly, and the crew understood that together they could face anything the void threw at them. Ethan looked around at the exhausted but determined faces of his crew. Clara placed a hand on his shoulder. "We're holding them off, Captain. We can do this," she said. Ethan nodded, filled with pride and hope. The battle was far from over, but humanity's courage, unity, and ingenuity had proven they could stand against the darkness and fight to protect those who could not protect themselves. Part 5 of the HFY story concludes the battle and shows the aftermath of the human rescue. Captain Ethan Brooks stood on the main deck of Orion Station, watching the last of the alien ships retreat into the void. The station was battered, with walls scorched and corridors damaged, but it was still standing. Crew members cheered softly, exhausted but alive. Ethan felt a wave of relief wash over him. Lieutenant Clara Bennett walked up beside him, wiping soot from her face. "Captain, we did it. The station is still here," she said. Ethan nodded. "Yes, Clara, we survived. But we couldn't have done it without the Resolute and its crew." Outside the station, the USS Resolute hovered, its hull shining from the recent battle. Commander Jack Thompson stood on the bridge, watching the retreating alien forces. Good work, everyone. Orion Station is safe for now, he said. Tactical Officer Mia Lewis and Engineer Sam Porter nodded, relieved that the worst of the fighting was over. Communication Officer Ryan Cole was already sending status updates to the human fleet. Back on Orion Station, Ethan and Clara checked on their crew. Injured personnel were being treated in the medical bay, while engineers repaired critical systems. Despite the damage, the humans had proven their resilience and skill. Every crew member had fought bravely, showing courage and determination in the face of overwhelming odds. Ethan gathered his senior officers in the command room. The station is safe, but we need to assess the damage and plan for repairs. We also need to prepare in case the aliens return, he said. Clara added, we have proven that humans and our allies can stand together against any threat. The crew has shown incredible courage. In the corridors, crew members moved quickly to repair systems and restore order. Liam Carter and Zoe Miller worked on rerouting power and fixing broken equipment. Explosions and fires had caused major damage, but teamwork and determination kept the station functional. Even the youngest crew members assisted, carrying supplies and helping where they could. Outside, the Resolute provided cover as repair drones moved toward the station. Jack Thompson coordinated with Ethan, ensuring the station was safe and no remaining alien ships could approach unnoticed. We will not leave until the station is fully secure, Jack said. Ethan appreciated the dedication of the human warship and its crew. Clara walked through the corridors, checking on the crew. Everyone did their part. We fought together and survived, she said. The crew nodded, exhausted but proud. Even in the face of overwhelming danger, humans had demonstrated their ingenuity and courage. Ethan looked out the viewport at the vast expanse of space. The alien fleet had retreated, and Orion Station was still alive. They thought no aid was coming, he whispered. But humanity arrived, and we stood together. We are not alone, and we never will be. Clara placed a hand on his shoulder, and together they watched the stars. Jack Thompson and his crew docked with Orion Station, bringing supplies, equipment, and hope. Humans from the Resolute worked alongside the station crew to repair damage and stabilize systems. The collaboration strengthened the bond between the station crew and the human warship, proving that together they could overcome any threat. In the command room, Ethan and Jack discussed strategies for future. The aliens may return, Ethan said, but we are ready. We have proven our strength and unity. Jack nodded. We will stand with you. Humanity does not abandon its own. Together, we are unstoppable. As the station repaired itself and crew members rested, Ethan walked through the hallways, observing the courage and determination of his team. Clara joined him, and they shared a quiet moment. We fought the impossible and survived, Ethan said. Clara smiled. Yes, and we showed that humans never give up, no matter how dark the void seems. The crew of Orion Station and the Resolute celebrated their survival and victory, knowing that they had faced one of the greatest threats in the galaxy. Their unity, bravery, and determination had turned a desperate situation into a story of hope and resilience. Ethan looked once more at the stars. The void of space was vast and dangerous, but humans had shown that courage, ingenuity, and unity could overcome even the most overwhelming odds. We are here to stay, he whispered. We will defend ourselves, and we will rise against any threat. Humanity is unstoppable. The story of Orion Station and the human warship Resolute became a symbol of hope for the galaxy. Even when all seemed lost, humans had arrived, fighting together and proving that no challenge was too great. In the dark expanse of space, humanity shone brightly, a beacon of courage and determination. And with that light, they were ready to face whatever the universe could throw at them next.